What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Over on my NBA Instagram page, Halftime Hoops, we do this thing that we call MVP Mondays. It's where we look back at some of the best MVP seasons from the past. Now, I was talking to my friend who was also the co-owner of Halftime Hoops with me, Jamil. We were talking, and he gave me the idea to rank the best MVP seasons in NBA history. But I've been watching basketball since like 2009, so I obviously wasn't around to see Jordan or even like Allen Iverson's MVP days. Like, I ain't been watching basketball that long, but I've been watching it for over a decade, so I've seen some very good MVP seasons. So we're going to go back within like the last 10 or so years and rank those MVP seasons. So some of the players that y'all love, LeBron, Curry, Kevin Durant, James Harden, they'll be on this list. Derrick Rose, will rank their seasons, showing respect obviously because they were MVPs. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and let's go ahead and get into the ranking. As you guys can see here, this is the ranking that we're going with. I couldn't find one that was with Jokic's 2022 season, but I think his last two seasons are probably on similar rankings, so we'll just, put him there. But yeah, it goes all the way back to, I think, 2010. So LeBron's second MVP season, which is really my introduction to basketball. Like, that's the first year I was actually watching the NBA consistently, like day in, day out, not missing a lot of games. So I think we'll start in order. LeBron's 2009 season was pretty incredible. I think he was second in scoring. He averaged just under 30 points a game. The Cavs were a 61-win team, and that was not a very good roster. Like, had old Shaq, old Antoine Jamison, Mo Williams. Just not a very good team. Anderson Varejao wasn't a very good team. 61 wins. Very incredible season. I'm going to put this in the great category. I think all of LeBron's MVP seasons are at least great. LeBron definitely should probably have more than 4 MVPs, which, 4 is a lot, but he's had some incredible years, man, and not going to be the last time we're going to see him on this ranking for sure. But that 2010 season was pretty incredible. If you watched my video where I was ranking throwback jerseys, I had this Cavs jersey. Like, I still have that LeBron jersey, man, one of my favorites in my collection. We'll move on to 2011, man. Derrick Rose. It seems like his MVP season has become very polarizing over the last couple of years. But in the time, it was not really debatable who was the MVP of the league. At least the way I saw it at 11 years old. I thought Derrick Rose was clearly the MVP. And it didn't seem like there was very much pushback from the media, from fans. Unless maybe you were a big LeBron fan or I guess a big Dwight Howard fan. Because those were the only two guys really in conversations. But it was Derrick Rose's award to lose at that point. I think it was a great season, man. The Bulls won, I think, 62 games that year. And it was because of Derrick Rose. Like, Derrick Rose was really a one-man show offensively. I think 25 points a game, 8 assists. Shot the ball pretty efficiently from the field. Became a better three-point shooter. Seemed like he didn't miss a free throw that entire season. I think he shot like 85%. And we saw him jump from being, I think, a first-time All-Star in 2010 to being the best player in the league, essentially winning the MVP in 2011. Sad the way that his career went, but that peak, man, you just had to be there to see MVP Derrick Rose because it was incredible. Now we move on to 2012, man. This LeBron season, I'm going to put at great. The Heat, I think, were like the 2 seed that year. I think the Bulls are still the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. But this was a very good LeBron season. Won his first championship that year. His regular season was pretty solid. It was a shortened lockout season, so it was a great season. I'll give LeBron that. But 2013, in my opinion, is the best version of LeBron James. I think that season he shot 40% from 3. It was basically like, I think, 55% from the field. I think he had a stretch of games where he was shooting like 70%, like pretty much game in, game out. He had like a streak going where he was shooting like 70% from the field as a wing player. Played a lot more like small ball forward that season. LeBron was incredible, man. This should have won Defensive Player of the Year. This season of LeBron is the best version of LeBron in my opinion. Just from an athletic standpoint, he was at his peak. I think this is maybe not the most well-rounded his game was offensively, but everything was starting to come together. He was knocking down his jumpers that season, and he was in control, man. He had teams at their mercy, and they won 27 straight games that season. A lot of that was because of LeBron. 66-16 record. A lot of that was because of LeBron. D-Wade was starting to regress, and LeBron really stepped up and had, in my opinion, the best season of his career. Next, 2014. This is another year, man. Like, Kevin Durant's MVP season, because Russell Westbrook missed a lot of time that year with an injury. I think it might have been a meniscus tear. He missed a lot of time, and KD really put OKC on his shoulders. You got to remember, at that time, this was post James Harden and then Westbrook being out. The rest of the roster, once you got past Westbrook and Ibaka, was not good. Because that means Reggie Jackson was getting big time minutes, which we know he's probably better, especially at that time, he was better suited as a backup. And then, you got like Kendrick Perkins on the roster, like not a very good team like just talent wise. But Kevin Durant at that time, he still is incredible, but at that time, that was the first time we really saw KD like really backpack a team and take them to the heights, man. I mean, I think they were second in the Western Conference that year behind the Spurs, who were just on a revenge tour that season. But KD was averaging like 32 points. I think off the top of my head, it was like 7 rebounds, 5 assists, something like that. Like, he was incredible that year. Was doing a little bit of everything. I think he had a big time, like 30-point game stretch during the course of that year, man. Kevin Durant, like it says, incredible season. I also did not make these tiers, but I think these tiers are pretty applicable though. That season I think was incredible by Kevin Durant, and potentially has a chance to move up, man. One of those seasons you just had to be there. I am on record of saying 2015 Steph Curry I didn't think was my MVP personally. I thought James Harden should have won it that year personally. Steph Curry's numbers were cool. They were pretty much the same from the year before. They just won more games. But I know advanced stats really loved him. The fact that he didn't play a lot of fourth quarters was another big talking point. I'm going to say it's well-deserved. Obviously, 2-time MVP for a reason. It was a well-deserved MVP season because of how good they were as a team as well. And that was because of Steph Curry. It was definitely because of Steph Curry. But when you compared 2015 to his 2016 season, not even close. Not even close. The unanimous MVP season, I mean, when you factor in 73-9 record, led the league in scoring, broke the record for most threes made in the season, and then the MVP moments. Like, there were moments in that season. Obviously, they started out, I think, 24-0. The game against OKC where he hit, I think, 12 3-pointers and then hit the one from like 40 feet to win the game in overtime. MVP moments were there for Steph Curry this season. And the team obviously was the best ever when it comes to regular season victories. And that was because of Steph Curry. First unanimous MVP. I would argue LeBron deserved it in 13. Maybe Shaq in like 2000 when he won it. Those guys probably deserved their unanimous MVPs as well. But Steph Curry was absolutely incredible that season. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing something Steph Curry related. Whether it was on social media or you go out, somebody's wearing the Currys or they got the jersey on or something. Steph Curry was everywhere. He still is, but this season was, you kind of just had to be there to witness it. Whether you loved the Warriors or hated them like most people did, you were watching a lot of Warriors games just to see Steph Curry. Still like that to this day for sure. 2017, Russell Westbrook. This was such a debate between these two that year, and Russell Westbrook's season was so incredible. Won it as a 6th seed, that's profound. Like, I don't think a seed that low has won an MVP maybe since Jordan in like the 80s. I think was the year like he averaged like 37 points and won the MVP or something like that as a 6th seed or a 5 seed or something crazy like that. But Russell Westbrook, that team was god awful. His second best player was Victor Oladipo, who was out of shape and had not hit his stretch yet. When he became an all-star, all-NBA player. Sabonis was a rookie. You trade Serge Ibaka. Kevin Durant leaves. This team was not good. This team was terrible. It was pretty terrible, to be honest. It was not a very good team. Russell Westbrook shouldered the load. First player to average a triple-double since Oscar Robertson in the 60s. Led the league in scoring. Obviously, I think 42 triple-doubles was the total for the season. And then the MVP moments, had a lot of MVP moments, man. I think the one that stands out is the game against the Nuggets where he hit the buzzer beater. I think that eliminated the Nuggets from playoff contention and may have clinched it for the OKC Thunder. But there were so many moments in that season. That was one of the best back and forth debates. Really, that season as a whole, there were a lot of guys that had an MVP caliber seasons. But when you factor in Russell Westbrook being historic, James Harden was being lethal and leading a team to a 3 seed that really had no business being there, and Kawhi had a big season. Isaiah Thomas was averaging damn near 30 points a game. I think LeBron even had a really good season, obviously, but I think he had an MVP caliber season as well. 2017 is such an underrated regular season. Obviously, the Warriors got Kevin Durant and pretty much went all the way, only lost 1 game in the playoffs, but there were a lot of good storylines during that regular season, man. Really love it. And also, if y'all notice, if you're a returning viewer, which I'm assuming most of y'all are, definitely a new setup. I decided to move it to my bedroom just to be more comfortable, and a change of scenery I think is good when you're creating content for sure. But yeah, Russell Westbrook, statistically insane season. I can't put it up there with Curry and Bron, but it's right below them for sure. 2019 Giannis. 2019 Giannis. This might be some hater shit for sure. Might be some hater stuff, but put it well deserved. Very good year. But I think, in my opinion, it should have been a very, very legit argument between him and James Harden, because what James Harden did that season was incredible. I think what separated Giannis was the advanced stats. Love him, and also the Bucks were the best team in basketball. Helps a lot. Put it well deserved, because I think his next MVP season was pretty incredible. I think his next one was pretty incredible, man. It was a shortened season, but he was great that year. He improved. He was Defensive Player of the Year as well as MVP. And regular season wise, the Bucks were dominating teams. They looked a lot better than they did the year before, which is, yeah. And I think I skipped a year. I did. I skipped 2018. My bad. James Harden, I'm tempted to put it here. I'm gonna put it here. This is why I'm gonna put it there. I'm gonna make my case for James Harden. Why I put him above Curry, above Giannis's first MVP season. I'm gonna put it there because, well, I think James Harden led the league in scoring that year. The Rockets in a Western Conference with the Kevin Durant, Steph Curry Warriors were the best team in the West and the best team in basketball. I think 65 wins that season. Chris Paul missed about, I think, 24 games that year too. So missing your second star and still able to get the best record in the league. A lot of MVP moments, 50-point triple-doubles, 60-point triple-doubles. Big-time moments for James Harden that season. Being there day in, day out. It got so ridiculous that people were arguing LeBron had better totals than James Harden, which I've never seen in the MVP race before. Never seen in the MVP race ever. Like, people were arguing, well, LeBron has more total points. He has more total rebounds. Like, I've never seen that happen before. James Harden was really good. He was great that year. You can argue, maybe he deserves an MVP. Maybe they just gave it because they were tired of seeing him finish second. But very, very good season. Jokic, very hard to gauge. I'm going to say well-deserved, though. Definitely well-deserved. I think his MVP seasons are overhated. And I think both years he's deserved these MVPs. Last year, his first one, it was a matter of him just being the most durable. I mean, LeBron ended up missing time and beating this time, and Jokic was still there. And I think the Nuggets were a 3 seed after Jamal Murray had missed, most of the last part of the season due to the torn ACL, and the team stayed good. They were still very good. That's because of Jokic. They won a playoff series without Jamal Murray, mainly because of Jokic. Like, I think his MVP seasons are both overhated so much. And this year, I think he deserved it too, man. Whether you argue, I mean, he was a 5 seed, I think, or maybe a 6 seed. He might have been a 6 seed. But still, I think he deserved it, man, because when you look at the competition, the guys that were competing with him, teams weren't that much better. And Jokic has, the totals, the advanced stats, love him. And a Nuggets team that was missing Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. still was a 48-win team is still very good in a loaded Western Conference. Like, they were middle of the pack pretty much in a loaded Western Conference. So, yeah, miss me with the Jokic hate. Yeah, I think this is a good list. I think this is actually kind of perfect. I think it's pretty perfect. But let me fact check something real quick. I'm debating on moving this 2012 LeBron season up because I think it's somewhat of an outlier, man. But I'm not sure. I actually think it's perfect. I think it's perfect the way it is, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Definitely not sure. I think the list was perfect, though, in my opinion. At the end of the day, these are my thoughts. If you guys disagree in the comments, that's perfectly fine, man. We can have a discussion about it. But yeah, these are the best MVP seasons from the better part of the last decade. A little over. It goes back to 2010, but that's when I was really growing into my basketball love. So, thinking back on some of these seasons and even remembering some of this stuff without even having to look up numbers or anything is just kind of like crazy to think about. Like, it's been that long since I've been watching basketball, man. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe, man, if you enjoy. I want to do more tier list rankings because these are fun, and I'm kind of getting drained from just regular talking with a microphone NBA content. I want to do more enjoyable, interactive stuff. So if you have any suggestions, man, leave them in the comments. And yeah, I'll catch y'all next time with another video. Peace.